10 years ago, I walked into a federal courthouse and was sentenced to 7 years in federal prison for real estate fraud. I remember that day before I went into the courtroom thinking maybe I'll get probation. I had been in denial about the seriousness of what I had done. But if you've ever been in a courtroom, you know as soon as you walk in, the denial slips away. It's such a sterile place to be. I remember sitting in the front of the courtroom and looking back at my husband and children and feeling a level of sorrow I never want to experience again. And I just started to cry. And I knew that the judge was going to sentence me to the maximum sentence. I was facing 0 to 7 years. I got up and I apologized. And the judge said, "Miss Louder, I'm sentencing you to 84 months in federal prison." And then I looked back at my husband, who stood at the podium after handing our youngest child to our oldest daughter, and he was crying. And he pled with that judge. He said, "Please, Your Honor, give her time to say goodbye to our family before she has to go to prison." I remember everything seemed kind of blurry for a few minutes, and the judge said, "I'll give her 8 weeks to say goodbye." And I walked out of that courtroom, and my life has never been the same. I remember on the way home wondering how I could have been such a fool, how I could have traded everything important, time with my children, for money. When I got home that night, I remember watching my children sleep and wondering how I could have traded all of these beautiful moments, why I didn't see it. The next morning, I got up and drove my son to school, and I just was crying, and my son goes, "Mom, it's okay. It's going to be okay." And I said, "No, Jackson, I don't know how I could have missed the beauty of my life." I remember the last night I spent at home, walking into each of my children's rooms, so heartbroken. And then I cleaned my house one last time. The next morning, my mom came and picked our children up, and I said goodbye, and Chad drove me 14 hours to a federal prison in Dublin, California. As painful as that experience was, I built a new life on that pain, and I'm grateful for the life that I have today.